Moving on, we enter the region of Bohemia. This part of the Czech Republic, closest to Germany, is much appreciated for its pastoral countryside. And floating a few hours down the Vltava River through Bohemian forests and villages, you see why. Families and gangs of friends enjoy multi-day river trips. These guys aren't letting a little rain dampen their spirits. Anyone passing through can rent a canoe and enjoy a paddle, short or long. Float companies pick you up and drop you at convenient and scenic spots of your choice. Going with the flow takes you to my favorite stop in the Czech countryside outside of Prague, Český Krumlov. The enchanting town of Český Krumlov, buried in the hills of Bohemia, lassoed by its river and dominated by its castle, feels lost in a time warp. Its delightful old town of shops and cobbled lanes, characteristic little restaurants, and easygoing canoeing options makes it a favorite with tourists. And there's no shortage of accommodations. Our home is the Castle View Apartments. Plush and thoughtfully equipped, my room is typical of the work locals are doing as even medieval lofts are being renovated to meet the needs of the growing number of visitors. Open beams, a handy kitchenette, and, as its name promises, a castle view make this a fine temporary home.
With the natural moat provided by the Vltava River, it's no wonder this place has been a choice spot for ages. The 16th century was the town's golden age, when Český Krumlov was a cultural power, hosting artists, scientists, and alchemists from all over Europe.
The town's many tourists set their sights on the mighty castle of the Rosenberg family. For 3 centuries, until about 1600, the Rosenbergs, Bohemia's top noble family, ran the city from this perch. Its 16th century Renaissance paint job is fancifully restored. Visitors wait their appointed time for a tour in the castle courtyard. The interior gives a glimpse of the ultimate in Bohemian noble living through the ages. Imagine being a guest back in the 16th century of this man, Count Rosenberg. You'd enjoy the scenes frescoed here which celebrate a Rosenberg family wedding. Then, riding his assembly line of fine living, you'd dine here. Come back 2 centuries later, and you'd dine here. And if the Countess tired of your company, she'd retire to her adjacent bedroom. But only after a servant lit the candles on her Meissen porcelain chandelier. And of course, the party would go on, perhaps with a Venetian-style masquerade party in the ballroom. For a little fresh air, you'd hike down this corridor, 150 yards to the Count's formal garden. But don't forget, at 8 p.m., the candles would be lit for a play in the Baroque theater.
Europe once had several hundred fine Baroque theaters like this. Using candles and oil lamps for light and pyrotechnics for special effects, eventually most of them burned down. Today, only 4 survive that are in beautiful shape and open to the public, like this one here at Krumlov Castle.
Baroque theater was all about melodrama. Lighting, perspective, and sound effects were all melodramatic. Even the weather was thrilling, with machines to make horrifying wind a driving rainstorm and menacing thunder. Even back then, it was all about special effects.